Good evening. Welcome to the Northampton County Council, March 6, 2025 meeting. Mr. Gafredo, could you lead us in the pledge, please? To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, individual, liberty, and justice for all. Oop. Could we please have a moment of silence and also remember Mr. Gafredo's uncle who passed away. Thank you. Ms. Shafnisky, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Corpora?
Here.
Mr. Giovanni?
Here.
Mr. Gafredo?
Here.
Mr. Heckman? Ms. Keegan?
Here.
Mr. Kraft?
Here.
Ms. Vargo Hefner? Mr. Warren?
Here.
All present except Mr. Heckman.
Thank you. Could I please have a motion to approve the minutes of February 20th, 2025 meeting?
So moved.
Second? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. Next, we have courtesy of the floor. I'd like to clarify what the purpose of this is and remind people that you get 5 minutes and that's it. You don't get to pass out items. You don't get to use props. This is your time to speak to council. Council will not engage with you, nor will ask questions or answer questions. This is your time to speak to us. So with that being said, you need to come up and state your name and where you're from. And the first on the list is Beverly Hernandez.
I would like to be the last on the list, if that's possible.
I'd like you signed in first, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry, I would rather be the last because I have to think about what I'm going to say. Thank you. I would let others go ahead.
I believe it says Jamie Hernandez, is that correct?
Yes, I'm Jamie Hernandez. I live in Poverty.
You have to come up to the mic. Thank you, sir.
Yes, I'm Jamie Hernandez. I live in Palmer Township. I'd like to cede my time to Beverly Hernandez.
You can't do that if she hasn't spoken, sir. I'm
Oh.
sorry.
How do we do this? After she speaks?
Well, you're speaking now, so you have time. So is there anything you wish to say
No,
to
no.
county council?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Maria Luzoy, is that correct?
Maria Ways, raised in Pennsylvania. I also concede my time to Beverly Hernandez.
Can't do that if she
I
hasn't
understand.
spoken.
I
Thank you.
I'll speak first and then you can see.
Ms. Hernandez, let me clarify something. You get 5 minutes. These folks have conceded their time. They don't get to get a double dip, and you don't get 15 minutes. You get 5 minutes. So if you'd like 5 minutes to speak to council, you may have it.
I'll have to come back and finish.
You get to speak now, and if
So
you
I
want to
get to
come
speak
next
now or
time.
never. My mistake was signing in first. I just want to learn from my mistakes
You get to speak to council for 5 minutes.
right now,
Yes.
and then I'm done.
There's no more council, there's nothing after. You get 5 minutes. This is the portion of the meeting. You get 5 minutes, and that's your time.
Wow, boy, are you protected. All right, we'll do it your way. Do I have a choice?
You have a choice to speak or not to speak.
Yeah,
If
that's the
you-
only
it's your
choice I have.
choice.
I got it, yeah, I got it. Okay, I was going to talk about the ISIS people. The ISIS, we're a sanctuary county, and there was an ISIS person. But let me first say I'm Beverly Hernandez from Palmer Township. There are people here, Ken Kraft, Jeff Warren. There's people here who I helped get elected. In debates, don't rush me. I will take my time. I heard you. I will obey the rules. The rules do not favor me, so let me continue. This time I took notes. This is my 4th time here. Did you have good dinner tonight? A glass of wine, maybe? Maria provided us with a really nice dinner. I appreciate that. She lives across the street. Do you know how many hungry people there are in Northampton County? Do you know how many people didn't eat dinner tonight? Do you know how many people live under the bridge down there by McDonald's? I took some food down and blankets one day. I met Bob. You know why Bob is under the bridge? Because he was arrested for something, I don't know what it was, something minor. They put him in jail for a few days. When he got out, he had lost his job. Since he lost his job, he couldn't get to his work. He's an auto mechanic. Nice guy. Now he's living under the bridge. At least for 1 or 2 days, he had a blanket. He had some food. I got the idea from somebody in Grocery Outlet who told me that that's what she does once a week. She buys food and takes it down to the homeless under the bridge. Anyway. I'm going to try to be a lady tonight. I'm going to try to be proper. Try not to express some of what I feel, but he's on his phone. Is he even listening? I'm listening. You're listening. Good. I have a lot to say. I'm going to be a lady. I'm not going to
Mr.
curse.
Hernandez, please just speak to us. You're here addressing council. This is our meeting and your opportunity to speak to us.
Understood.
And
Understood.
you've got 3 minutes down, so
All right. I would have had more, but you won't let them.
that's, and
I'll
you're
come
losing
back. I'll
time by
come back.
debating it. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I will return. I will return every meeting until I have said everything I have to say. First, they came for the Catholics. You know this. Then they came for the old people, then they came for the young people, then they came for the unborn people, then they came for the handicapped people, and there's only going to be a few left of the desired ones when they get done, but that's neither here nor there. Let me organize myself here. Did any of you get to look at the Constitution that I left the last time around? No? Because we're not following it, you know. This is just an old document. Kind of like that, our insignia that says mercy and justice. And I wonder why mercy is on top since 1752. How much mercy does Northampton County have for their homeless and their poor and their workers who are underpaid, and for their middle class who's going to pay for a $35 million bond that should have been $21 million? How much money you think we're going to have left after we get done paying those taxes? I'd put it on my Discover card, but the limit is much less than my kids and grandkids are going to pay, so I'll be dead by then or somewhere else or dust. I'll talk about that next time.
You have 1 minute.
Thank you very much. You're so generous. So have you been to the grocery store lately? Have you seen the prices of eggs? I went to Sam's Club. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is all of us out there. And you're adding burdens to us in addition to what the society, you go pay for eggs. You know what eggs are? $12 a dozen. I went to Sam's Club, there was nothing left the other day, nothing. So people can't even drive to get these sales. They have to, wherever there's food, they just have to. But we do have Narcan. In case somebody has a overdose, in case somebody would somehow have a fentanyl overdose, we have a lot of Narcan all over the place and it's free. Anyway, but we don't want to stop those people bringing in the fentanyl. No. They're a protected class because we're a sanctuary county. So let's not bring in any ISIS terrorists, okay? No. I speak for the people, okay? That includes Latin people who don't speak Spanish. Is there any interpreter here? Is there anybody who, interprets for the deaf? I don't see anybody interpreting what you're saying for the public. Well, that's beside the point. I don't think I'm going to get through my 3 pages today. Well, the rules are the rules. So, I took care of my aunt for 12 days. Boy, I never knew what a caregiver does. I ended up on a cane because I wrenched my knee and I hurt my back. My time is up. I can't speak to the Graysdale issue. I'm sorry. Nobody's more sorry than me. But I will be here every meeting until I get my voice heard.
Thank you.
Madam President, may I say something real quick? Ms. Hernandez, maybe you can stay there because it'll give you a little bit more time to talk, but, feel it's necessary to say something. We had the State of the Union, which, Republican or Democrat, I think I'm embarrassed by the state of politics. And then I come here and I do this, and you kind of realize, like, the way things are, We could do a little bit as county government, but, I can't feed every homeless person, can't bring up the wages, can't lower the price of eggs. We don't have that power. But I will say we do have the power of civility. When you come up here and you attack us like we're automatically the enemy, makes us automatically not want to listen. Same thing I say to the people on the other side of the aisle. It's like if we're not here to work together, we say the Pledge of Allegiance every meeting. One nation, under God, indivisible. We're supposed to be united. If we're fighting each other, we're never going to fix anything. Well, I'm just saying, you can keep coming up here and banging at us and saying that we're the problem. Nobody wants to do this job anymore because everybody thinks that we're the problem. It's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Mr. Gafredo. Is there anyone else here this evening that wishes to speak to courtesy of the floor? Hearing none, courtesy of the floor is now closed. Mr. McClure, do you have a report? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. In just a few minutes, you're going to be considering the AFSCME Graysdale bargain that we reached across the table. I think very satisfactory to everyone involved. Specifically, you'll see that in year 1, there's a 4% COLA. In year 2, there's a 3.5% COLA. In year 3, there's a 3% COLA. Now, why this is important to talk about, just in addition to the contract itself, is what we did last year. And you'll recall last year, we entered into a memorandum of understanding with Local 1435 that did some of the following things. And the reason we did this last year, and why this contract, I think, that you're considering tonight is so good for AFSCME Graysdale, is because of what we did last year. And it is a direct result of the last piece of Council's affinity report on Graysdale that we had to address. We either were already doing everything that affinity had pointed out in their report, or we had completed just about every item of recommendation that was possible to complete at Graysdale. And this is the final piece of that. And I think it's just important for the record to recall what it is we did with the Memorandum of Understanding. And keep in mind, this contract's going on top of that. So pay grade 9 was renamed to pay grade 9 was renamed to pay grade 9A. Pay grade 9B was created on the new approved pay scale. And employees in the following job titles on step 3 3C, Step 4D, and Step 5E of the current pay grade 9 scale would be moved to Step 3C of the newly created pay grade 9B pay scale. And that would include licensed practical nurses, licensed practical nurses part-time, licensed practical nurse infection control, licensed practical nurse EOW. Pay grade 4 was renamed to become pay grade 4A, and pay grade 4B was created and added to the approved pay scale. Employees in the following job titles on Step 3C, Step 4D, and Step 5E of the pay grade 4 scale were moved to Step 3C of the newly created pay grade 4B pay scale. Certified nurse aide, certified nurse aide part-time, certified nurse aide CSR, and certified nurse aide EOW. The newly hired employees with 5 to 10 years of verifiable experience in the role of LPN may be hired at Step 5E of Pay Scale 9B. Newly hired employees with 5 to 10 years of verifiable experience in the role of CNA may be hired at Step 5E of Pay Scale 4B. Experience must be listed in the candidate's job application. What we're doing here is bringing the final recommendation in the affinity report to fruition, which is now going to allow us to be able to hire more of our own employees to reduce the amount of agency nursing staffing that we're currently using at Graysdale, which will, in the short term, bring the costs of running Graysdale down, even though the pay of the employees of Graysdale is on the rise. So I implore you to pass that tonight, and we'll move forward with that. And I think you will see in the very near future not only more of our own employees being hired, but a significant reduction in the provision of agency nursing staff at Graysdale, which is going to be good for Graysdale's bottom line. Also, I have to give Tina Smith, director who's just before you at the committee hearing earlier, the Director of Community and Economic Development, a great deal of credit, as she has found yet another innovative way to help the homeless with our community development block grant funding that's provided by the federal government. We just heard a little bit about the homeless plight in Northampton County, and I do want to let the folks here and at home understand that both counties, Northampton County and Lehigh County, because we do share common population of homeless folks, put millions of dollars each into combating the homelessness problem on an annual basis. We also provide wraparound services for many of the folks who find themselves out of doors for any appreciable period of time. But as you all know, homelessness is a multivariant, multifactorial problem. There is no one-size-fits solution for the problem of homelessness. And if money was the only answer, we wouldn't have a homelessness problem. But back to Ms. Smith and DCED. What she discovered was, to make a very long story short, and I can provide you with all the details if you want them, when children and youth's vans, that children and youth drives the youth around in, reach a certain mileage plus years, the state permits them to take those vans, my suspicion is for safety reasons, and costs of repair, they go up, and the state bears some of that expense. They allow them to take that particular vehicle out of service. And then what happens is our procurement division takes it back, and then eventually it goes to auction, but we don't get much for them. So what Ms. Smith came up with was we would take nonprofits that we work with in the community, CDBG funds would reimburse CYF for what they would have gotten for auctioning the van off, and our first van went to the greater Shiloh folks and their nonprofit arm, and that van is going to be used to transport the folks that some of which Ms. Hernandez just identified under in that encampment to their warming shelter on nights when it's very cold. So I mean, this is really an innovative, smart, and good thing to be doing, and it was timely with respect to Mrs. Hernandez's concerns about the homeless. That's all I have.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Mr. McClure? That's all, thank you. Do we have any old business to discuss? Under new business, we have the consideration of term sheet with ASME Graysdale Resolution. Mr. Brown, would you introduce?
Whereas Northampton County Charter, Section 20212, provides that the county council shall have the power to approve any collective bargaining agreements with officers and employees. Whereas on February 27, 2025, County Council received a term sheet to the contract between Northampton County and ASME Graysdale, Exhibit A. Now therefore, it is hereby resolved by the Northampton County Council that the attached term sheet shall be approved this sixth day of, this is February 2025, should be March. Approved this sixth day of March 2025.
We should. I'll make the amendment to change the Scrivener's error, or Scrivener's error, to March instead of February.
Second the motion.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Do I have to call it by roll? Sorry, we got to call it by roll.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Mr. Gafredo?
Yes.
Ms. Keegan?
Yes.
Ms. Varga Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Corpora?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Passes by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the amended motion? Call for the vote on the amended motion.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Giovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Gafredo?
Yes.
Ms. Keegan?
Yes.
Mr. Kraft?
Yes.
Ms. Vargo Hefner?
Yes.
Mr. Warren?
Yes.
Ms. Corpora?
Yes.
Adopted by a vote of 8-0.
Thank you. Is there any new business to discuss? Any council committee reports?
Madam President, the Economic Development Committee met earlier today, and we had two presentations, one from the Hispanic Center of Lehigh Valley and the other from the Memorial Library of Nazareth. Two fantastic presentations and two fantastic organizations doing great stuff here in Northampton County.
Any other committee?
The Farmland Preservation Board met.
That's liaison,
Oh,
but are there any
oh, sorry.
liaison reports, Ms. Keegan? You're good, go ahead. I was gonna
Okay. The Farmland Preservation Board met on Tuesday and reviewed and approved the 2024 applications for farmland preservation. In total, 13 applications of 16 were accepted, totaling just over 720 acres of new farmland for preservation. The accepted farms are in East Allen, Lehigh Township, Lower Mount Bethel Township, Lower Nazareth, Upper Mount Bethel, and Washington Township. Current program status is 19,562.94 acres preserved on 263 farms.
Any other liaison reports? I have one. The GPA met this Tuesday morning. We conducted the item of business that we returned the parcel of land on the Dixie property, or returned the parcel over to Mr. Barty and his company from the GPA. And then the other item was quite business, but we received our bridge report, and it should be noted that we are, the bridge contractor is in default as a result of several of the bridges not reaching final completion. The end date of that contract and final completion was supposed to be December 2024. There are several items that are yet, and I would say there are many, and some of them are simple, but there's just still not done. There's one that will have to be outstanding until April because of having certain PennDOT flaggers have to be available for this procedure. But other than that, the group believes that these should have been met, and we're taking advisement from our engineer. So I can't say anything except that it just continues to be discussed, and there's ongoing discussion with that party. Other than that, I have no other, I don't think, Ken, did I miss anything? No. Just trying to get it across the finish line. Anybody else have any? Council clerk report?
Nothing.
Council solicitor report?
Nothing.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.